So this is the introduction to the Anuhazi language. And you might be wondering, what is that? Well, in the beginning, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God said. So sound becomes light. If you want to heal anything, go to where it first started. Or if you want to remember anything, go to where it first started. And so that is sound. So in the beginning, God said, sound becomes light. And so Anuhazi is the first language ever spoken in this 15-dimensional time matrix we call this universe. Okay, so Anuhazi is the first original externally spoken and written language in our universe. Okay, so way before, a lot of people are talking about, like, ancient Egypt being the spiritual origins. False. That's because the DNA has been scrambled and people do not have the memory of before that. But once you start this course, you'll start unlocking those memories. So way before ancient Egypt, right? So from ancient Egypt, there was if you want to call it, that's where there was a migration to India. So a lot of people are chanting like Sanskrit and Gurumukhi, and it's still an ancient language, but way before ancient Egypt, that language, way before India, there was a migration that happened from Atlantis, Nohas, Atlantis, Noah, right, where all these words are based from Atlantis to Egypt. So way before Atlantis, however, there was Lemuria, right? And a lot of us, some of us, have started unlocking those memories. What's up, Lemurian family? And so from before Lemuria, however, way before that, there were three original celestial, angelic, human seedings, and there were the 12 original celestial human tribes. Okay, and that's where the 12 biblical tribes are based off of, and they spoke a language based upon that was called Anuhazi or Mua. And so the creator, originally eternal life founder races, created our potential DNA to be specifically key coded for this language. The more ancient the language, the more ancient the release of the memory and the power and the healing will be. So this is the first original language spoken in this time matrix. So way before India, ancient Egypt, Atlantis, Lemuria, were the 12 original celestial human tribes, and this is the language they spoke, Anuhazi Mua, and it's key coded for the DNA. And remember that grid I showed you in the introduction, the 12 circles, right? So imagine as we speak this language, as we chant this language, we sing this language with the eternal life symbols, that the frequency of those dimensions, high frequency dimensions, is going to start reactivating. And even though there's been distortions and the connections between these dimensions has been messed up, the morphogenetic field, or the blueprint of what the Bible called Jacob's ladder, if you want to call it, is still there. Which means as we tone these sounds, imagine that the source force is like lighting up or laying a brick on the previously disconnected, distorted potential DNA. And so it's slowly starting to progressively reactivate, repave, rebuild those pathways so that source can flow, which we are, down from 12, 11, 10, 9, repaving those roads and connections of our 12-stranded potential DNA. And for every DNA strand that is accreted, you will literally release a memory, activate a new level of perception, activate new healing and new natural abilities such as bilocation and all of these different things. Clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudible. So as the slide says here, Anuhazi is the original first externally spoken and written language in our universe, or 15-dimensional time matrix. It is the natural language of the Christos founders' races. So that's the language that the Christos founders spoke, is Anuhazi. So imagine, right, there is no time. Only consciousness moving through different densities. And so it's all happening simultaneously. So when we chant in Anuhazi or Mua, we're literally chanting with the original Christos founders' races, which for a lot of us is us on a higher level. okay, or a different time space orientation. So imagine that as we echo these sounds, we're actually co-creating with the original sound. When God sung "Let There Be Light," we're singing with that sound now. It's constantly being expanded and coming back to source. So that is happening now. And so as we sing this original language, it's beautiful. We're co-creating with the original eternal sound of source. So yeah, the specific sound tones of this language are coded to progressively reactivate your 12 to 48 stranded angelic original celestial human DNA, which was the original design of source. So yeah, it's the original language. From this language, you're gonna learn. You're gonna say, hey, that word Messiahonic sounds like Messiah. Hey, that word sounds like this word, and that's where all of these. This is the original language from which all other languages in this time matrix evolve from. So this is the original language with all other words, all other things are a play off this words. And you notice like in Japanese and Korean, there's like some related words. Well, same thing, you're gonna start noticing this is the original eternal life language from which all other languages evolve from. So you might start noticing words that, oh, that sounds like this. Yes, exactly, because this is the original language. And like I said, if you want to heal anything, go to where it first started, which is sound. God said, actually, before sound, there was a less dense frequency, which we'll get into, but like sound becomes light. And so we're going to be speaking in the original sound, scalar waves, sound and light symbols, communicating with our potential DNA, activating our potential DNA, higher identity accretion from avatar down to oversoul to soul, embodying that in our physical body, and thus fulfilling the original intention of source. And we're going to do that in the original celestial human language, the first language spoken in this time matrix, which our DNA still has the morphogenetic blueprint for, which is Anuhazi and Mua. Enjoy.